Mike,
Hey, Sully, how are you?
what's happening, man?
Well, I just pulled into Barnegat High School here along with lots of guys with radar guns. It's a Jason Groome day up here in Barnegat. He makes his return after coming off his little NJSIA imposed vacation, and he's going to start against Pinelands in the first round of the Shore Conference tournament today in about an hour at 10 a.m.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I was talking yesterday with Barnegat Athletic Director John Germano, trying to get Jason on the radio show one of these weeks, and obviously he can't today because he's pitching in the tournament game. But he's like, Sully, man, we're getting calls from all over the nation, calls from Japan. I mean, this is kind of taking over South Jersey in the last month or so. And you ever seen anything like this? I mean, even Mike Trout, I don't think was this highly regarded coming out of high school.
No, not at all. You know, everybody knew that Trout was good, but he hasn't gotten the attention that Jason's gotten. And I guess, I mean, the 17-year-old kid from Barnegat could be the number one pick in the draft, and supposedly he's the most talented amateur baseball player in the country. And it is, like you said, it has sort of taken on its own life here in Barnegat.
What's the attendance already there at Barnegat? I know the game's about an hour away.
Well, the parking lot is for a Saturday morning game between Barnegat and Pinelands. That probably would have drawn about 50 people otherwise. I think I was at this game about 2 years ago, me and about 30 other people. There's scouts everywhere. The parking lot is pretty full. It's going to be a big crowd. I've gotten several emails, calls from people. When's he going to pitch? When's he going to pitch? When a kid like this only comes through your area once in a while. So a lot of people want to get out and get a chance to actually see him up close and in person.
Once every 15, 20 years. I remember back when I was in high school and college, there was a guy, J.M. Gold, was throwing about 96, 97 for Toms River North.
Exactly, out of Toms River, right. And then the Milwaukee Brewers drafted him. And before that, in the short conference, Al Leiter, who would go on to pitch for the Yankees and the Mets, was a big star at Central Regional. So these guys do come along, but like you said, they only come along once every 15, 20 years. And when they're here, it's great to see. And, people want to come out and get to see him in person. And he is impressive in person. I mean, he throws with such an easy motion. The ball just explodes out of his hand, and his curveball. Really, the first time I saw it, you just can't help but say wow or gasp. It's such a sharp breaking pitch.
What's your take on his personality? Do you feel like he's a kid that can handle all this attention? That's a lot to put on the shoulders of a 17-year-old.
Yeah, it is a lot to put on the shoulders of a 17-year-old. I mean, there's millions of dollars involved. There's a lot of pressure involved. He seems to be taking it in stride. I think to a degree he's kind of used to it. He's kind of pitched in front of scouts the last 2 seasons. He has a good family around him. His advisor, Jeff Randazzo, is also kind of always there making sure things go right. And the Barnegat people, Coach Dan McCoy, I've got a big story about Jason, that kind of Meet Jason Groome story that's online at pressofac.com right now, and it'll be in the paper tomorrow with some great pictures that the family gave us, so we get to see Jason sort of growing up throughout the years. I think Coach Dan McCoy and the Barnegat Athletic Director John Germano do a great job of trying to not have it become overwhelming, not have them overwhelmed by press and media. I think they do a good job of just trying to keep things as normal as possible for him.
Another guy down here in the Cape Atlantic League who's really been impressive is Sean Mooney. I know you were out there at the game against Mainland earlier this week, and where he struck out the first 9 batters, finished with 14 Ks against a very good Mainland team. And talk about this kid a little bit. He doesn't say a whole lot after the games, but man, when he's on that mound, he's in control.
Yeah, well, he is. I actually think he's getting to be a better quote than he was in the past. So even that part of his game is improving. And, I think, the Ocean City baseball team, they call it hashtag Mooney Tuesday. Sean has pitched 4 times this season, all on Tuesday. He's 4-0. I think 47 strikeouts in 22 innings. He has allowed 4 hits, and he hasn't allowed a run. Like you said, he pitched a great game against Mainland Regional. Ocean City beating Mainland in a big Cape Atlantic League rivalry. I think it was 9-0 last Tuesday. I suspect we'll see Mooney again this Tuesday. I think Ocean City hosts St. Augustine in another big Cape Atlantic League game. But I was really impressed with Sean. He had the velocity last year. He throws that fastball 90, 91 miles per hour. But also what I liked about Sean was his let's say his off-speed stuff, his curveball, and changeup much improved from last season, and that's made him even tougher to hit. I
give him a hard time when I see him out at the games, to maybe watch some Sports Center work on his quotes a little bit. He's such a nice kid, though. He's so humble and doesn't really like to talk about himself. I think Joey Clifford's kind of his spokesperson at this point.
Right. I mean, you can always go to the catcher or
Jeremy
to pump him up a little bit. But like you said, Sean, if he lets his pitch and do his talking, that's just fine. He's been super impressive this season. And you look at those stats. I mean, 4-0, no runs allowed, 4 hits, 47 Ks in 22 innings. I don't think you're going to find a pitcher in the state, including Jason Groome, who has better numbers than that.
I'll tell you what, that's going to be a heck of a game, the Prep versus Ocean City. I mean, the Prep has really quietly done a nice job this year, despite missing Mike Vastoria the whole season. Chris Morgan-Weck has really stepped up. They had a sophomore come through against Mainland the other day. And really, Mike Bailone is doing a nice job keeping that team together. And really, they've become, maybe as expected, one of the top teams in the Cape Atlantic League.
Well, that's a program right there that has a lot of tradition, a tradition of success, and a lot of talent on there. The kid Troost has gotten some big hits for him, and right now they're in first place in that Cape Atlantic League American Conference. Like you said, Morgan-Weck has pitched some big games for them, got some big hits. I like Skinner at the top of their lineup, kind of setting the tone there. So, they play a tough schedule. They're out at that the Coaches versus Cancer thing, Millville this weekend. They play Washington Township tomorrow, another tough game for them. St. Augustine really shies away from no competition. And like you said, Mike Bailone's really established one of the top programs in the state out there, and they're kind of rolling along this season.
Talking with Mike McGarry of the Press of Atlantic City. Mike, talk about that Coaches vs. Cancer clinic a little bit, or tournament a little bit. We had Mike Edwards on earlier in the show talking about that tournament and really become one of the premier tournaments in South Jersey. I mean, when you look at the lineup of teams, Cherokee, Mainland, Washington Township, Prep, Bishop Eustace, Gloucester Catholic, some of the real heavyweights in South Jersey baseball.
Yeah, it's really just a great event out there. I really commend the Millville people, Mike Edwards, Roy Hallenbach, and Williams out there for the job that they've done in sort of raising awareness and putting together a great event. You see events like this in basketball all the time, these big sort of weekend showcase events where you can go and in one place see, 5, 6, 7, 8 of the teams in South Jersey around the state, and I think that's just great. I like to see more of it in baseball. I just think it's a great event out there for a great cause. It's really kind of an emotional event, too. They have somebody from each team who has been affected by cancer some way in their life. Either they've had it or someone they know have had it, a loved one has had it, throughout the first pitch. So that's always an emotional day. It's for a great cause. There's plenty of, Mike Trout signed memorabilia out there to be auctioned off, again, to raise money for a great cause. And you get to see some great baseball. You've got Mainland Cherokee out there today. You've got Bishop Eustace, Gloucester Catholic out there today. You've got, as I mentioned, Prep Washington Township tomorrow, Millville, Cherry Hill East. So, it's, you really want to go to one place and see, 3 good baseball games, see some great teams with minimum effort, then Millville's the place to be, tomorrow, today and tomorrow.
Mike, what should we be looking for real quick the next 2 weeks or so in South Jersey baseball? You're kind of getting to that point where, if you want to make a run to the playoffs, you got to be playing well the next 2-3 weeks.
Well, I'll tell you what, the big thing this week will be the cutoff for the Joe Hartman Diamond Classic, which, 16 of the best teams in South Jersey, will start playing that, I think the second weekend in May. The cutoff is this weekend coming up. Whoever's in first place in the various divisions around South Jersey, including the Cape Atlantic League, American, and National Conference, get automatic bids. So that's the thing to watch for this week is the Diamond Classic. You got St. Augustine and Ocean City kind of vying for that top bid in the American Conference. In the National Conference, you've got a kind of interesting race between St. Joe's, Cedar Creek, and Middle Township for the Diamond Classic. And Diamond Classic, a great event. Every team in South Jersey, I think it's a goal of theirs to get in. The cutoff is, a week from today. The field will be announced, a week from tomorrow. So, that's why these games this week take on extra importance.
Mike, got about a minute or two left. I wanted to talk real quick about the Penn Relays, obviously one of the big track meets in the region every year, and I know these track teams love going there. It's a great atmosphere. They kind of get a little bit of taste of the big-time track, and talk about that a little bit. I know you've covered that in years past, and what a great event.
Yeah, absolutely. What it does, what I tell people all the time is, you're a high school athlete, you get to run on the same track at the same meet, as an Olympian. So you'll be running a race, and literally there'll be an Olympian or one of the top college runners in the country coming on the same track right behind you. So it's almost as if they played a high school basketball game before and the Golden State Warriors and Steph Curry followed you out, for the next game. So that's what really makes it a great event. Just about every local team puts a 4x1, a 4x4 team in there, and you have some individuals. Alyssa Aldridge of Mainland, Julianne Cagliana did a nice job up. Egg Harbor Township did a nice job up there in the 3,000-meter run on Thursday. So you have some individual events, but it's just a great event to go up there and run, and not only run on the same track as Olympians, but get to see Olympians and great college stars. And it's really just one of the world's most famous meets. And like I said, it's like if they held a high school baseball game at Yankee Stadium, and they had a high school game followed right by the Yankees Red Sox right after that.
Good stuff, Mike. Appreciate it as always. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. We'll catch up to you soon.
All right, anytime, Sully. I'll talk to you later.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it, buddy. As Mike McGarry, Press of Atlantic City, always enjoy getting his take on South Jersey sports. Does a great job for the Press of Atlantic City.